Welcome back to Truth Bomber TV. I want to talk about blame shifting today and countering the crazy maker. This game between narcissists and empaths that happens that we have to start dealing with in new ways in order to reach new levels of enlightenment and to no longer need narcissists in our life in order to be teachers to us of our unhealed parts. I've heard a lot of talk about going gray rock or just emotionally not engaging, but our energy can engage even if we are not giving them any physical reaction that they can see. So I want to just expand on some concepts so that we can get through this into new levels of healing. So, what do narcissists and empaths have to teach each other since we know we are imbalanced and so is the narcissist? What is this blame shifting all about? What are we supposed to learn from it? I hear a lot of the just show no emotion, go gray rock, these kinds of things happening that do not show what our energy field is doing. Even if you show no emotion to someone who is blame shifting onto you or being confrontational about something, your energy field will fluctuate. And when we do not stick up for ourselves and stand up for ourselves in a healthy, balanced way, we end up with heart chakra shutdowns. We end up with throat chakra shutdowns. And all of these chakras are linked to parts of our body. So basically, when someone is blame shifting to you and escaping accountability for the things that they do, they cannot see, accept, or acknowledge, then guess what happens? We have heart chakra shut down because we are abandoning and betraying ourselves by not standing up for ourselves. We are accepting the blame, taking on the baggage. When people treat us badly, we will stay with people who hurt us. When people disrespect or verbally abuse us, we get emotionally triggered and deflated. They're highly confrontational. We want to avoid confrontation. They twist things. We let them manipulate things because there are so many tactics and techniques to the narcissist that we do not understand until we get educated on them, that we're pretty much blindsided. And once you wake up and you see what's going on and you start getting educated, you can be kind of shocked yourself because you're like, wow, this person is these things that I never saw because we believed in the mask, the illusion of who the narcissist is. If they cannot blame shift to you, they will start talking in circles and usually find something you were guilty of or some inner weakness or insecurity, and then they will pull those things out and further emotionally get you triggered. They can switch between blame shifting to like victimizing themselves. So we will feel sorry and confused by them. So they can go from accusing you of cheating on them with someone to actually victimizing themselves to saying, I just love you so much and you just mean so much to me and I just love our relationship. And really, they're the ones that are the cheaters, but we fall into the little charades and feel sorry and confused by their behaviors. So we become the heroine and try to help them heal and evolve. They push all of our boundaries. We have a hard time setting boundaries for ourselves. So we've got a lot to learn from narcissists if we want to dive deep into self-work and not choose to just blame shift ourselves and say, oh, that's their issue, or just emotionally disconnect. That's what the narcissist does. What this gray rock thinking is teaching people is to become the narcissist yourself, emotionally detached. And even if you emotionally detach, you still have energies connected. And that is why the energetic systems are so important. And at the heart of our relationships that tie us together with people that have opposite charges so that we can learn how to become balanced people. So let's talk about how to do that. So, what do we do to become balanced, healed, and involved as empaths? We don't want to fall into any negative emotions when dealing with anyone. That is part of our soul mission here, is to have all relationships and never drop into negative emotions, which means we have to be the highest possible self in action. So, when the narcissist mask slips, something happens, the spewing volcano erupts into the ugly monster, then we can see this as a cry for help from them with compassion and unconditional love, because we realize that they really are projecting, and this is their core inner issues that they cannot see, accept, or recognize. And we have done a lot of soul work to know we have been guilty of that ourselves and have done the same thing where we emotionally got triggered by someone else according to our projections. Validate their feelings. Say, I can see why you feel this way, because that's how projection works. We can't see our own qualities, but we can blame them on other people. So you don't have to agree with them. You can even say to them, I think you're projecting. You are shifting the blame onto me because those are the qualities that you have, not me. This usually ends a conversation because I've done this several times and with amazing results. So they can either choose to shift into some other gear where they try to lead you around into circles of something you really are guilty of, or they end the conversation. It's wonderful. Totally wonderful. So don't get led in circles if they decide to do that. If they want to lead you into circles with things, see, what is this? What are they trying to lead me into circles about? They usually counter you with something you are guilty of. There's some kind of shame in you, or something you can be blamed for that they can manipulate where you actually were in the wrong. And then you're emotionally triggered by them. Poof, there goes the narcissistic supply they need. They have shifted your emotions and caught you on something, right? But you've got to heal whatever it is. That's not random. Whatever they choose to lead you in circles around about, or wherever they go with the conversation, is not just some random something that you should just simply flatline about and not emotionally engage with. These are like soul insecurities and faults and our own projections. So we need to use those to do soul work and not think, oh, we are just above the narcissist. We are just beyond them. They're just put in this category and now they're going off and we must go gray rock. Because there's no learning or evolving or healing in that kind of response. And yeah, you are not emotionally engaging with them, but are you learning anything? Are you evolving through something? Are you trying to get your own soul messages where you yourself need to do work? No. And if you choose to do that, are you not just as guilty of the same things that the narcissist is? Just tuning things out that don't fit into your world and your reality? Just emotionally disconnecting? Have you not just become the narcissist yourself? So I know this is a different way of thinking. I know this is not what the trained psychologists tell us and what they lead us to believe. But until we deal with our own shame, blame, guilt, or whatever it is that the narcissist manipulates when they lead us in circles, then we continue to attract the situations. When we cannot see their outbursts with unconditional love and compassion and forgiveness because they are projecting, then we continue to create these different games between each other because we're dropping into judgments, we're dropping into emotions. Instead of staying in this place of love and peace and joy and happiness, regardless of the conditions, we have become energetically feeding into this ego narcissistic paradigm. So when you get to the point where they don't have any power or influence over you, then you can move into deeper positive emotions. So let's say that something happens and the narcissist mask slips and the volcano erupts. Now you are looking at them feeling deep compassion for them and unconditional love because they really are in that space of wanting to shift their unhealed wounds onto you. And you recognize that you are so grateful to be an empath and who you are and capable of evolving. If they want to start leading you into circles around other things, because if they cannot emotionally trigger you with this big eruption of blame shifting, then they're going to try the other things. They're going to try to circle around to something you were guilty of or you did something wrong about or some kind of shame inside of you. So then you're looking at the conversation to see, okay, is this something that I was guilty of that I can say, you know what, I did do that. I am responsible. I'm sorry. I have forgiven and loved myself, even though whatever I did was wrong. And I have been working on that issue. These are the things that I have been doing in order to evolve and heal over that. So now, whatever it is that you would have been guilty and blamed for before becomes somewhere that you have made growth and development within yourself. Because sometimes, just like the narcissist might need us to shift the blame back to them, sometimes we need them to be that slayer of what we are doing wrong so we can fix it. And we're capable of doing that. We can look at ourselves and say, yeah, you know what? I could do this better or that better or whatever it is. I should have acted differently. I should have done that differently. So once you get to there, there's zero power, zero influence over you. And if anything, they just keep moving you deeper and deeper into more positive emotions, more compassion, more unconditional love, more forgiveness, more peace, more joy, more happiness. That is such a cool space. That is such a great place to be because in order to do that, you've had to have evolved yourself and dealt with some of your own insecurities and weaknesses and balances and seen, oh, I'm so grateful for this. I can see my growth here. That's so cool. Thank you for giving that to me. That's when there's no energy between you. That's not gray rock. That's not any sort of just emotionally detached. No, we're looking at the situation as why is God putting this in my life to show me what I need to work on? And if you get to the point where you just simply say, I do not agree with you if they are blame shifting. I do not agree with you. I understand the reasons that you feel that way. Validate what their feelings are. I'm sorry, I have to go. I have XYZ to do, and I no longer have any time for this. There's lots of ways that once you get to that point where you no longer need these confrontations between you to unhook and go on with your life. And when there isn't any energy between you, then the narcissist has to find someone else in order to splay their issues and traumas on. Or they have to heal and evolve themselves, which is exactly what you were trying to do for them when you put the blame back on them and say, these are the qualities that you have that you can't see, accept, or acknowledge. This is what you are guilty of doing. That's where you are trying to serve as the messenger. And I know as people pleasers, we don't want to hurt anyone. We don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but we have got to be honest and open and loving at the same time as our setting our boundaries and keeping our personal power. So it's definitely, there's a lot of different facets to why blame shifting happens and why it happens to only certain people, or why they only pick certain people as partners. So I hope that helped you to understand blame shifting and why we have a key part of why this happens. So thanks for watching.